everyone, it's Michelle Caruana from Play Cafe Academy, and I just want to give you a quick reminder to please subscribe to this channel if you like my videos. I put out a new video packed with tips and strategies every week. So today we're taking a step back and talking about something that is so important to any business's startup plan, but is often overlooked or done halfway. We're talking about business plans, and as a reminder, if you want my exact business plan, the one I used to secure over $200,000 in funding, click the link below the video. I'll tell you how you can get it, plus a walkthrough video training from me for only $27. All right, so we're gonna talk today about the 5 red flags I always check for in a business plan. So since I opened the doors to my indoor playground in early 2016, I've had hundreds of prospective owners reach out to me asking me to take a quick look at their business plan. Now, not all of them have gone as in-depth as I did when creating a plan, but most business plans are major documents that take time to review. While I no longer offer one-on-one consulting because I've chosen to dedicate my time and energy towards helping my Play Cafe Academy students achieve success in their business, I do still peek at the occasional business plan that comes across my virtual desk or my email inbox. The reason I'm still willing and able to do this is because I can typically glance at some key areas and get a quick gauge on whether or not that prospective owner has done thorough research and, most importantly, they have realistic expectations. While I don't review all these plans in depth, I wanted to share with all of the Play Cafe hopefuls out there the few key sections I look at first, and I usually have some quick, immediate feedback on. And just a side note here, when you're opening any local business, it's important to not just lean on industry experts for advice, but also other brick and mortar business owners in your area, even if they're not in your field. Your area will likely have unique challenges, maybe weather related, demographics, local laws, that even the most experienced industry leader would not be able to anticipate unless they're local to you. So while the advice here on my YouTube channel and my blog will certainly help you on your path, also try knocking on some doors and establish a friendly relationship with business owners in your area to get an even clearer picture of what you can expect should you join their ranks. All right, so number 1, the first red flag I look for when looking at an indoor playground business plan is startup cost projections. So as someone who went to school for economics, the numbers are just where my eyes tend to go first. While the cost of opening an indoor playground can vary wildly, it usually comes down to these few different factors. Number 1, the geographic area. So some places like New York City are just more expensive than others, so consider that. Number 2, the type of play and age range the business hopes to accommodate. So large gross motor play structures for larger children tend to be more expensive than imaginative type play equipment, and the broader the age range, the more pieces you'll need, so that's more money. And then number 3, size. So while the exact location of a business is not usually yet determined in the business plan phase, I can typically get a feel for the size of space a business owner has in mind, whether it be a 40,000 square foot large complex or a smaller footprint, 3,000 square foot indoor play cafe like ours. Of course, there are many other factors that play into the cost of opening this type of business, but these 3 have the biggest impact in my experience. If the 3 factors don't match up with the projected startup costs, even in a ballpark range, I know right away that something is off. So for example, if a business owner is hoping to open a 10,000 square foot space in Los Angeles with lots of high quality wooden climbing structures for say $200,000, I know that either the business owner has not begun researching real prices, or they've done a poor job of getting estimates in their area, or perhaps they've just forgotten line items such as legal fees, insurance, construction build out, marketing, that stuff. So the key here is to make sure you are getting real estimates from real contractors in your area who are familiar with the business model and what you're hoping to achieve. If you need some tips on planning your space, I have an article on my blog that I'll link to in the description of this video. And again, if you want to make sure you don't miss any line items, grab my business plan. All right, number 2 red flag, core strengths and target market. So the first red flag I notice about this section is, of course, if it's missing. The second, perhaps scarier red flag I notice is if a prospective business owner is attempting to make every single local parent their ideal customer. While it isn't implausible for a wide variety of parents to find a space enjoyable, it's also not realistic to expect to be everything to every family. I discuss this concept in more detail on another blog I'll link, but choosing a clear focus for your business and who you hope to serve can be crucial to a business's success, especially if there is competition in the area. So even if there's no competition in your area, it's very likely that there will soon be competition after you open. We, in fact, have had several competitors try and imitate us within the first year or so of business alone. So if a business plans to have classes, camps, parties, open play memberships, all as their core strength and focus, I will often urge that potential owner to think a little more strategically about what's missing in their area and what their ideal customer avatar is like. So will your core offering cater mostly to stay-at-home parents or working parents? Do the hours and prices in your plan reflect that choice? Will grandparents be able to comfortably enjoy this space? Will people in your area be willing and able to pay for that exclusive membership fee that you're planning on? So a great example of an indoor play space that has chosen a specific ideal customer avatar is Wiggle and Work in California. So despite being in an area with very high competition, they're able to thrive and even open multiple locations because they design their space and offerings around that one specific kind of customers. Working parents flock there, purchase memberships, and return again and again because their needs are so well met. Had Wiggle and Work tried to open an every family play cafe in that area, they would have likely struggled since it's very hard to differentiate yourself in a saturated market without a key focus and that people can refer to and recognize. All right, number 3 red flag, competitive analysis. So speaking of competition, analyzing local competitors should of course be a no-brainer when putting together a business plan. How this process is approached, though, does make a difference. So, for example, if someone is choosing to primarily focus on birthday parties like we do, I would not necessarily want or need to see a competitive analysis of every indoor play space in the area. I would, however, expect to see an analysis of every place that offers birthday parties similar to the ones they plan on throwing. So, for example, since we focus on high-end birthday parties, our closest competitors actually aren't other local indoor play spaces. Based on our ideal customer avatar, local country clubs, athletic clubs, painting studios, and even some higher end dance studios are those we most closely analyze because they're in a similar price point to ours. And by analyze, I do not necessarily mean imitate. By observing what each of these places offers and to whom, it's easy to see gaps in those offerings and create packages that really stand out. Had I just focused on other indoor play centers that perhaps focus more on memberships and parties, I would have had no idea how to price or structure my parties for the customers we plan to cater to. The other indoor play centers near us typically offer more budget-friendly, shorter, smaller parties, and they have multiple parties at a time, and those customers would likely not even consider our venue after glancing at our prices since it's more than they need or want. So I also like to make sure that prospective business owners are looking at the strengths of local competitors in addition to their weaknesses. It's of course very possible for many businesses to thrive in the same market if they each have their own secret sauce or attracting factor. So trying to replicate another existing beloved space's secret sauce is often a recipe for disaster, like I outline again on my blog. Try instead to find something you can be known for and be great at that's different so you can become the go-to in your area for whatever that thing is. All right, number 4, red flag, payroll expectations. So while this is another factor that can vary wildly based on space, it's fairly easy for me to estimate how many payroll hours a business will need based on how many sources of revenue a space will have. So if there's going to be a full service restaurant, for example, that will need to be staffed accordingly. The biggest thing I look for is how much the owner expects to work themselves. So of course, especially in the beginning, the owner should expect to be present on site quite often. However, there's a big difference between having to be there, so filling a crucial cashier role, for example, and wanting to be there. So if a business owner needs to work more than 5 or so hours in person filling a crucial role a week in order to survive financially, that's a big red flag. If they have children, I usually tell them about my experience working with my kids and how it's not as easy as it seems. Go through my channel for that video. I also tell them how much of a disservice it is to both your family, your staff, and your customers to take your energy away from innovation and continuous improvement in your business by doing all the things at your location. The long-term strength of a business often lies in the owner's ability to remain the visionary of the business and delegate other things like cleaning the floor, working the cash register to their team. If you want some tips about things I do not do as a business owner, I posted an article and a video a couple weeks ago. All right, number 5, the last red flag I look for, revenue sources. So while it's definitely important to maintain a clear focus for your business and have a main stream of revenue, so again, for us it's parties, that does not mean you should forego or forget all the other sources. Though birthday parties, again, are our main source of revenue, we also do drop-off hours, open play, classes, events, and have a retail business to add to our bottom line and keep our bank balance healthy. When I look at a business plan, I like to see not only multiple sources of revenue, but also that they are well thought out and have realistic sales numbers attached to them. Having multiple revenue sources also helps businesses, especially in the indoor playground industry, be less susceptible to seasonality, competition, and other factors that can often impact one area of the business, like open play, for example, in the case of weather, but not others as much. So like birthday parties in that scenario, since they're booked well before the weather forecast comes out. So birthday parties aren't as seasonal. In all, there are dozens of factors that banks and investors will look at in your business plan. However, in my experience, those 5 factors that I went through and the red flags associated with them have the most significant impact, not only on the long-term success of a business, but also the ability to get your project off the ground in the short term through funding, all that stuff. So again, if you want some good news, I can help you craft the perfect business plan for your needs. So just click the link below to download my 22-page indoor playground business plan template and plug in your own numbers and analysis and focus, and you will be well on your way to indoor playground business success. This is the stuff the banks are looking for, guys. So even if you plan on opening a slightly different concept, so say you don't want a cafe, this will still work for you, and don't worry, you won't just download and go. If you purchase my exact editable business plan template for just $27, I'm also going to send you a 70-minute video walkthrough training to take you step by step through the plan and help you tweak and adjust as needed without having to wonder or second guess. This document will really save you hours and potentially tens of thousands of dollars by making sure no stone is unturned in your research and planning process. So best of luck in your indoor playground planning adventures. And again, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you like my tips and strategies. I will be reminding you every week when I release a new video. And again, if you want the link to our business plan, it's right below this video. Have a great day, guys.